Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebon. Yes, and if this is the first time I was seeing my beautiful face, you are so welcome. I do videos about food, gist, and anything that concerns me. So today I'm going to be talking about failure, and the reason why I'm talking about failure is because recently in Nigeria, lawyers were called to bar, and some people were not called to bar because they would have failed through law school. That's the bar law school, or whatever they call it, and therefore they cannot be called to bar. I don't know whether the process is to retake law school. I don't know what the process is. However, I've seen people celebrate, which I am very happy for them. I'm excited that you got called to bar. Congratulations, many more achievements in the future. However, I have also seen people that are crying and saying that what are they going to do with their lives, like all they have worked for till this point. Now the final step, they are not passing, and then they cannot be lawyers, they cannot practice. Can they afford to start it, as in do it again? What if they do it again and they fail? Like, I have heard people say all kinds of, have you heard somebody say that she has given up on it? And I'm like, baby girl, I was once in your shoes. So I was like, okay, let me do a video about like failure and why it's, and how it gets better. Like, that's just the end product of this conversation. So this is a personal experience, my own personal experience, and I'm going to try and give as much detail as I can, and also try to be straight to the point. So in 2009, 2009, I finished secondary school, and I was like, yes, baby girl, you're going to be an accountant. I applied to do accounting in school. Now, I did not get that. I got banking and finance. So I went to uni and I studied banking and finance. In case you do not know, yes, that's what I studied. But I knew I wanted to become an accountant. So I was like, okay, baby girl is going to do her Ican exams, like have finance, be chartered. Like, people look at you and be like, this one is smart. That was the next plan. So I started my Ican exams in the September of 2010. And I remember writing my first exams were like accounting technician exams. So it's called ATS, which is the AAT version in the UK. And I wrote the first 4, cleared it as per the genius that I am. Yes, let me blow my trumpets. I went for the second stage of the ATS/AAT exams, and baby girl wrote 3 and I failed 1. I felt very sad that I failed 1, but my dad encouraged me, well, like, you're juggling school, you're doing this, like, everybody fails. I'm like, okay, everybody fails. Now I rewrote the exam, I passed, and I was like, okay, maybe this is just a one-off. Now the plan was to get qualified while I was still in uni. This was still possible at that point in time, even though I had failed 1 exam. Then I rewrote the next 3, which was going to make me finish the AAT sections of my exam on the ATS, and I passed 3 again and I failed 1. God, I felt bad, because now I knew that the probability of me graduating qualified was now slimlined. But I was like, okay, but you can still do this. You just get qualified the November after you graduate. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad idea. Like, I'm 19, graduate, also qualified. Like, people are going to beg me to come and work for them. Oh, drum roll. That was not the story. So I wrote the exams, finished school, graduated well, and then I went for NYC, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do my exams and continue my exams. So the Ican body changed their exam approach, and then I only had I had less exams to write than I was going to initially write. So I was very excited about that, and I went to go and write my next 4 papers. I can never forget, wrote the 4 papers, and results came out, and I passed 1 and failed 3. And I was like, eh? Now, when you belong to a family like I do, failure is not really an option. Like, you cannot explain your failure in my house. Nobody's going to understand where you're coming from. And I didn't even know how to explain this to my parents because I had never failed this badly before. Like, I went to secondary school, I went to uni, I didn't have this kind of experience in failing. So I was like, everything was going on. And my dad was like, okay, we'll pay for you to write the exam again. Like, what could they do? Like, they're not going to go and hold Ican in the neck and be like, give my daughter pass mark. And I went for another set of lectures to rewrite again. And this time, when I rewrote the exam, after doing another set of lectures, my failure was like the sound of the trumpet on the day of judgment. It was so loud. I passed one again, but failed two. Now, why would I say my failure was so loud? My failure was so loud that I am sure that I had the worst results in the history of that exam. I got 12 over 100. I don't even know how that is possible. Seeming that, I'm like, if you say I got 12 over 100, did they even mark the script? Like, that means the 3 hours I used to write that exam, because I think it was like a 2.5-hour exam, that means I was just playing. I should have just given, like, opened the biro and removed the ink and just sprayed it on the paper, because there was no need of sitting down there for 2.5 hours. And I remember my dad coming back from work that day. He had already heard that the results had come out because somebody in his office was writing the exams. And my dad was surprised that I had not. I don't think he was surprised. He definitely knew I had not passed, because he knew that if I had passed, I would have called him to jubilate. And then he called home. We were like, everyone, how are your results? Like, my daddy got home. He didn't even ask when he came out from the car. My daddy is very calm and patient. He settled in, did what he needed to do. I think he even ate. And then he was like, oh, Ebon, I didn't even bring it up. You were like, oh, Ebon, I heard your results came out today. And I was like, Daddy, you know, as in, I can't explain. And my dad was okay, you failed your exams, no problem. Even though the reaction on my father's face, you know when your parents want to tell you something and you know they want to tell you something, but they have not yet told you what they want to tell you. That is how I knew my dad. I know my parents, so like I knew every reaction. I think my dad was waiting for my mom to have the conversation with my mom before they had the family meeting with me. So my dad was like, okay, what was the score? I didn't even say it. What? 12 over 100. How do you explain getting 12 over 100 to your parents? I was like, I think it was either 12 or 19. I'm not even sure. I'm going to see if I can even find it. Put the screenshot of the results here. Cheek sauce. That's all I can say. Anyway, so I was like, I'm not more doing Ican again. Like, please. How can I get 12? No, this is not happening. And I was like, to hell with this. I'm no longer doing this again. And I felt like a failure, God knows. And I never really spoke to my parents about it. It just made me feel very worried because the result came up before I was meant to go for my master's. I was like, if I am failing ordinary Ican, how am I going to do master's? Like, it really got me, I really felt bad, as in the failure really affected me. And I didn't know who to talk to. And this is one of the things, as in, I wish, like, not like I could not talk to my parents about it. I think I told my dad I was scared. And my dad told me I should not be scared. Like, he gave me that motivation. But I feel like the conversation I would have with my dad now about that kind of situation is so different from the conversation I had then. The conversation I had then was out of timidity. And I think I was kind of having the conversation that in case I failed my master's, my dad should have, like, a pre-reason why I failed. I don't even know what I was thinking. But I just know that I just felt like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I'm not more doing Ican again. I'm not going to be qualified. When I moved to UK, I did my master's. That went perfectly well. And then I felt a bit of motivation. And then my mom was like, are you not going to do these exams any longer? I was like, mommy, what? No. I'm going to go and do CFA. Now, if you don't know, the CFA exam that just came out last, they said in the history of CFA since 1970 something, they have not had such a poor pass rate, that only 25% of people pass the final one. That just shows how wonderful that exam is. However, that was the exam I was telling myself I was going to go for. And this time, it was not even out of fear. I just felt like accounting had dealt so much with me, and that it had condemned me, so I wasn't willing to go back. And I remember when I got this my job, they had told me that I was going to do my chartered accountancy exams, and I was like, eh? So I remember the day they called me to tell me what clients I'll be working on. I can never forget who called me. His name is John. And then he called me to tell me the clients I was going to be working on. And then I was like, sorry, I have a question. Instead of doing the ACA, can I do the CFA? And he was like, oh no, that the training contract says the ACA, and that if I'm not willing to do that, then I should not accept. I'd already accepted the job. I should call and withdraw my acceptance. Me that had been looking for a job for a while. No. I was like, Ebu, God has wrapped you inside this thing. And I remember I just told myself that, Ebu, because you had, I remember when I was about to start writing these exams again, like the ACA exams in the UK, I told myself that because I had failed before, did not make me feel, like I literally had to tell myself these things that, Ebon, yes, you had failed before, and that's a long time ago. The Ebon that had failed then has grown, like time has passed, like situations has changed, like what happened then that made me feel I need to analyze the situation. Like I thought about like not being ready, not having the right materials, not asking questions, feeling too timid, like feeling like I had like another chance, like, and I know that I didn't feel like, oh, if I failed I had another chance. No, but like in this case, when I was writing my ACA this time, because my exams were tied to my job, I told my, first of all, I don't even like reading 2 times. I told myself, you cannot even do this twice. Like, this is not going to happen. And fast forward to 3 years after I started my journey, I became qualified. Like, in case you don't know, my names are Eboluwa Adejoke Oyewo, BSc, MSc, ACA. Like, let me just tell you, in case you are not sure. Now, see, when I look back at it and I look at how afraid I was of failing and thinking that failing made me a failure, I'm like, but what were you thinking? Like, were you thinking? Like, all I needed to do, and this is my advice to anybody that is currently in that position of, I have failed and failing is going to make me a failure. It's like you need to sit down and ask yourself, like you need to be honest with yourself. Nobody in this life lies to themselves. Like when you even tell yourself a lie, you know you're lying. Like nobody can lie to themselves and swallow the lie. Like nobody in the world can do that. So you need to sit down and be like, okay, what happened? Did I play too much? Did I not study hard enough? Did I not get what I was being taught? Did I have a problem with understanding? Did I not have enough time? Was I just being carefree? What was the reason why I failed? Like, once you can answer that question, or all the questions, and God knows there can be 10 billion of why you failed, and you work at it, there is a large probability by the grace of God. Now, being that I am a Christian, I always train that factor, that you would not fail again. Now, I always tell people that if you don't read and you pray from now to tomorrow, you will fail, and the host of heaven will celebrate your failure. And see, it is the law of the land. See, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, that doesn't even apply in this situation. Like, if you don't study and you pray, you are going to fail. However, I'm just trying to say that because you have failed once, or because you didn't do so well, or because when you wanted to achieve something, you did not achieve it, and this runs across a lot of things in life, that does not mean that you would not achieve that thing or you will not become successful. As I said, in 2015, if you had told me that I was going to add that word ACA to my name, I would be like, nah. As in, sorry, is that a joke? But today, I've added it to my name, and I feel like I can add as many things as I want to add to my name, because failing in life has not made me a failure, and I can achieve anything I want to achieve, as in, yes, as number 1 baby girl of Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, this video is kind of long, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have learned something about all the story I had to tell. I'll see you guys in my next one. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Bye.